Hello students, welcome back. So now we are going to run few simple queries. In order to do that, let's create a table. The table I'll be creating is called fruits right here. That would be this one right here. And so these are the columns I want. So these are six columns: fruit ID, fruit name, color, quantity, price per unit, and is imported. So in this case, the way you create a table is use this syntax: create table. This is how your SQL works. This is how SQL creates table. And then you specify the name of the table. In this case, it's fruits. My columns are fruit ID. In this case, my fruit ID I want to be whole number, so that will be integer because this is how I want my data to be. 1 2 3 4, and then I do not want this column to be empty. Every value should be, there should be a value inside this column. So in this case, I'm specifying that to be as not null. That's what it means. My fruit name I want to be a text character. So the way you do is you use this var character. That's what that it stands for, variable character. And in this case, it's going to be 100 character long. Color, quantity, price per unit, I want the price per unit to be a decimal number, and there should be a two digits after the decimal point. So that's what this two means. Is imported, and then you have a primary key. In this case, I'm specifying my primary key to be fruit ID. That would be this column right here. Okay, so after I do this thing, then I'm going to populate this. So this is the syntax that is used to populate your table. In this case, you use this syntax: insert into name of the table, specify your column names, and specify your values over here. So this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying insert into fruits. These are the columns I'll be inserting records into, all of them, and the values I'll be inserting would be these values right here. So this one is responsible for putting this record, and this one is responsible for putting this record, and this one is responsible for putting this record. Okay, so let's start. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write all these commands in a simple file, in a simple text file. So this is my simple text file. Let me open this file so you can see what's in it. And over here you can see that I'm actually creating a table right here. Okay, and then by the way, on a side note, anytime when you end your SQL statement, it should end with a semicolon, which is right here. Okay, then I'm adding, this is another command that I'm actually entering. This is responsible for putting my data into that. Okay, so let's go back. Let's open up our SQL Studio. Actually, that's already opened. Come back over here, and there you go. So let's open up our tools. Open SQL Editor, and you see this SQL Editor opens up. Let me increase the size of screen so you can see. All right, let me just increase the size of this screen too. All right, so let's open up that file. You open what I did was I clicked on this right here, this open. This is called load SQL from a file. So this way you don't have to enter your command over there. You can load directly from a file. So come over here and click on this. That's going to load that file. So first I want to do is delete this table. This is already created in the past. So one way you can delete is just right click on this and you can click on delete the table. So this is like using graphical user interface, or you can have a simple SQL syntax. So in this case, I'm saying drop table if exist fruits. So let's run this, and that's going to drop that table. And there you go, and you can see that table is gone. All right, so let's create a table first. In this case, I'm creating a table fruits, and these are my values, column names, and this is exactly the same syntax I just showed you. Okay, so make sure your mouse is over here. Your cursor is running on one of these characters, and then hit execute query, and that's going to create a table. Right now, the table has been created, but there's nothing inside the table. How do I know the table has been created? Because you see a message like this. If something goes bad, something goes wrong, you're gonna see a red. So you're gonna see a message over here that's gonna tell you that it did not work. So let's open that table, and let's wait for it. There you go. Let's see what's inside the table, and you can see that when I click on data, there's nothing inside. Okay, everything is empty right now because I did not enter the data. So let's enter the data now. So this is syntax. This syntax right here is responsible for adding the data. I'm inserting into this table fruits these data right here. So click on this and run, and you're gonna see, oh, there you go. Rows affected 15. That means 15 rows has been added. Let's double click on this, and you're gonna see your fruits open up now. Go to data, and there you go. You can see your 15 rows has been created right here. All right, so I showed you how to create a table successfully. Now we are going to proceed to the next step. Next step would be, now we're going to run few select queries to retrieve data from the database. So the way you do is like this. Let's say you want to select all the columns. You can do that. So this is the general syntax of your select statement. You specify, you say select, and then you specify your column names, from, you specify your table names, where, and then you specify your conditions. So let's understand this through some example. Let's say you want to select everything from your table. Right now I'm not applying any filter, so I'm just saying select all the columns from this table, fruits. So let's come back over here. I have written down all the statements in a simple file, and that file is right here, step 2. So let me just show you what's the content of the file. So these are my all my select statement. This is first select statement, second, third, fourth. So we're going to run each one of them. So open up your SQLite Studio. All right, it's already opened. Good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I'm also going to close this. I'm going to open up another editor, SQL editor again. And this time I'm going to redo again. So this way you guys get familiar with what's happening. Come over here. Let me just increase the size of screen and go to your load SQL file. And I'll be loading the step 2, which is this one right here. Open it up. And there you go. So it says select everything from fruits. And let's run this file. On a side note, you see this hyphen hyphen over here. This basically is a comment. Okay, this is how you tell SQL that ignore this particular line, and you can use that to your advantage by writing few helpful comment for yourself. So in this case, I'm writing a little comment that select all columns, no filter applied over here. You can do these types of stuff over here. Okay, so let's run this. What just happened? Oops. All right. So come over here now. Make sure you select. You put your cursor on this screen on this select statement and hit execute query and wait for it. And there you go. You can see that everything got selected for you. So I selected everything, all the columns from that table. And now since you cannot see all the columns clearly, so you can actually resize the column names. You see that by like this. And there you go, and do the same thing. Okay, so now you can see all your 15 records have been selected. Maybe you don't want to know all the 15 records. You just want to have only few columns, maybe fruit name and color. Well, you can do that too. So in this case, I just come over here and make sure your mouse is over there. You selected that and click on run, and that's going to print out only the fruit name and color, not every single column from this table. Let's run this, and there you go. You can see their fruit name and color. These are the only two columns selected. Okay, maybe you don't want just all the column. Okay, maybe you want, let's say, let's start with the alias first. Let's say you want to create your own alias. So by default, right now, it's showing you its column name. Maybe that's not the name you want. Maybe you want to have your own name. So let's select this thing. Select fruit name, price per unit from fruits. So let's run this without using an alias. And when I run this, it prints out fruit name and price per unit. But maybe I don't want this fruit name. I don't want this price per unit. I just want to call this thing as fruit. I want to call this thing as something maybe price. You can do that. So SQL allows you to do that. So in this case, you specify your alias. And the way you specify is like this. You say, oops, right here, you come over here, select fruit name as fruit, price per unit as price from fruits. So this is how you specify your alias using this keyword as. All right, let's run this. And now you're going to see your fruit name has turned into fruit because I specified that over here. And my price per unit has turned into price because I specified that over there. Okay, sometime you don't want all the records. Maybe you have millions of records. So you don't want all the retrieve all the records. Maybe you just want only few records. Maybe you just want to get an understanding of what your data looks like. You can do that too. You can run select star from fruits and you specify your limits. So limits means just send me only 5 records over here. That's what limit 5 means. So when I run this, it's going to print out just 5 records from that table. And there you go. Fruit ID, fruit name, color, quantity, price per unit is important. And you can see that only 5 records.